And I believe we are live. Espin, how are you, my friend? Good to see you. And let's just make sure that we have all those important values that we need to have, which is, of course, sound, visual, and all that other stuff. Oh. Mads, how are you? So let's just check this one last time. Okay, good. That goes over there, and I think we are ready to roll here. So, oh good, as long as we sound good, nothing else can really go wrong. Well, today we're going to be finishing up the snake, the lion. We're going to be introducing some new guys here to get done, and they are, where did I put the box? They are the black dragons. They are, I guess, enemies for all I know. And of course, what would life be without the demon of the earth, where we have right here, who we primed in a very dark green. Mario, how are you? Larry, good evening. And as you can see, we've got him primed up. We've got the other guys all primed. So we're getting ready to kick off 2 hours of just getting this all done. Now, of course, we'll do the first part here, and then we'll work our way over to the dice tower for the second part. As I begin my hostile takeover of the dice tower for the next few days. Now, let's see. Let's first show you what we got here, what we got to work with. Now, as you can see, the box here, which I just opened up, that is this guy right here, Demon of the Earth. He's pretty dark, so we got him in a good way right now, where we've got him with a very, very dark primer. So we're going to build out from there. So first we're going to even darken him even more to try to bring out some of the musculature, as well as highlight some of the detail in him. We're going to really put a dark wash, and then we're going to build our way out. So that'll be fun. And these guys over here, oh, these guys are kind of simple, to be honest with you. But they do need to get done, so while we're messing around with things, what better to do than to work on some black dragons in between. As you see, they're mostly just 99% just silver with a dark wash, and on top of that, you know, we've got a little red in there, but we'll work on that. We'll get that done. The most important thing is just kind of get this where we want to get it. And that's what we want to do. Ryan, hello, my friend. I'm glad we were able to play Transforming Mars at BGG-Con. Will Baker, my man. It's always good to see you, brother. Follow-up question to the airbrushing question last week. For priming, would you save money / paint by using an airbrush? They seem to be much more direct and not so much getting wasted in the air. You'd be surprised, because what happens is it atomizes the paint, so it's very, very, you don't see it, but it does kind of go a little bit all over the place, and sometimes it's kind of hard to control, as well as it is kind of dangerous, because you sometimes get that up in your respiratory and you can make yourself very sick. So without further ado, I hope that answers your question. We've got some things to work on here, and let's have some fun, because that's what we would like to do. Now, last time we left off, we were really concerned with these two individuals here. Particularly, we have to lighten up that mane a little bit more, and we ran out of time. Well, I kind of said that was it. Let's put it that way. If you have a question, now because I'm painting, make sure you just put a question in front of it, and that way I'll be able to address it, because a lot of times I kind of lose focus, and we just want to make sure that we kind of stay on focus today. Nathaniel, good to see you, my good friend. It's always good to see all of you. I'm always very happy to see everybody. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take some Ushabi bone, and we're going to take it, and when I mean we're going to take a very little of it. We also have Thog, but I still haven't decided what to do with him because he is a train wreck. Just putting down my little visor here to get a good look. Maybe we'll play around with him in the second hour. So what we want to do here, and I always find it very good, is the Ushabi bone is just a nice light tan that's very easy to work with, and you can always darken it up. Hi Rob at work, thanks for the entertainment to get me through the afternoon. Isn't that what I'm here for? Try to do my best to get you guys through the day. And basically you guys do the same for me, so I'm very thankful. Now we're going to go on here for a while, and then, like always, you'll be able to catch the second part of this onto the dice tower. I was very excited about everything that we did last night with War and Pieces. We're going to have a lot of fun with that, and every Wednesday and Thursday nights we will be live just doing certain little projects. Okay, so we're going to get about that much on, and then instead of just really wiping it off, I really want to make sure that it gets up in the brush a little bit. So I'm going to dab it a little bit. Of course, I'm doing it off camera so you guys can't see it. Let me turn this light down just a hair. I have this new light, and I want to make sure that we have light, but that, see, it's nice when you have lighting that you can control. But I want to make sure that we're not too bright. All right, so now that we got that in there, now we want to take a little bit of it off, because we want to be careful, because we really don't want to take away that dark brown from that mane. So we want to be very careful, and we're going to test it on the base, and then just kind of ever so lightly kind of work it around, because we just want to hit the high points again, leaving the dark color underneath and not losing any of that detail that we worked so hard to get from this guy. And you can see that by just lightening up that mane just a little bit, gives that lion a little bit more, what's the word we're looking for? It makes him a little more savage looking. Yes. We want to work underneath his chin and just kind of lighten it up a hair, not taking away from everything that we've worked on. And don't be afraid to go over some of the body with this once you got some of this off. Just very lightly try to hit some of the edges. It really makes a big difference. And you can see where that really gives him a kind of Rob, I love you starting early, but I hate coming in late. Don't worry about it. You don't miss much. It usually takes me a few minutes to really get going anyways. Looking forward to see what you do with the snake next. Mine is sitting at the point where you left it off last week. All right, well, we're going to be getting to that big boy in a minute. And it's time to really kind of think what to do with him. I've thought hard about what I want to do. I like him dark, and I almost don't want to lighten him up. So I've argued with myself a little bit, and sometimes you have to take risks, and that's what you have to do. And if you mess up, well, guess what? You can just kind of come back and really just mess with some things there. So I'm also looking forward to the snake finish, and that's going to be our big part. Next week, guess what we're starting? We're starting Doom next week, the brand new game that is coming out. It'll be out the 15th for the public, and that evening, guess what? We will be starting painting on it right away, so you guys can get your figures painted and get that game to the table very quickly. Next week, either next week or the following week, we will actually be playing Conan. To be honest, you prevent me from getting grading done. But who cares about grades? Yeah, those kids don't need to pass. I mean, jeez. It's only their lives. Alright, so now we're just kind of taking that same kind of color, and we're just, I want to be careful around the paws, because I like the paws with how the wash ran down and darkened his paws a bit. Because after all, he's a lion. He doesn't, walk on concrete all the time. War and Dollars. Warfighter, World War II, COH, Guadalcanal, and a new game table today. Wow. Very nice. We're going to be doing, I'm trying to decide where I'm going to be doing Warfighter. I'm either going to do it on the Dice Tower, or I'm going to do it on my channel this weekend. Or here, more or less, our channel. I'm definitely doing something live. We are going to be doing solo games since the kids aren't around. Tomorrow we may be live. The family may be live on the Dice Tower. And boy, I don't think the Dice Tower is ready for that. Okay, so here we go. I think, yeah, just give them all A's. They were good, weren't they? Kind of be like Santa. He was naughty, so he gets an F. Well, I'll give him a D if he's naughty. Big Bang, good to see you, my friend. Alright, so there we go. As you can see, we really got what we're looking for. And this was very simple. Very, very simple to do. And like I said, I mean, you could really get really detailed in this, that, and the other. But for what we're trying to do, the 101s here, I think this guy's doing all right. So let's put him aside. Are these guys dry yet? Just about. Just about. And this guy, well, he's still a little wet. So let's move on to our big problem here. All right, so now we've got that mouth, and that mouth is the big selling point to this beastie here, and we've got to be very careful what we do. So we're going to need we're going to use one of our detailing brushes. Then what we're going to do is we're going to work kinda, you have to be like very, very careful in here. We want to be able to sell that mouth. That mouth is a very important part. So I think what we're going to try to do, no, we're not going to use that. We're going to go with Emperor's Children. I think this is good enough and light enough where we cannot lose what we've done, but really kind of sell that point there. So let's give this a whirl here, because we want to be able to get those gums. Now, we're going to have to do a couple things here, and this is going to have to go through different stages here. So I want to get a very, very small brush here, and I want to make sure that I get all these areas here that we were concerned about, and kind of hit the higher points here, and especially the gum line. I want to be very, very careful around this gum line, because this gum line is the real selling point to these teeth, and we've got to make sure that we get that just right. And then the crease in the mouth is very, very important. So we're going to be very, very careful in what we do, and just touch things very, very lightly, because we just don't want to lose any of that detail that we have. Let's see if my big ass hand is in the way. Yes, it is. So you guys can't see what the heck I'm doing. So I'm just being, this is one of those times where you just can't get around it. You just got to take your time. This is not going to be the rushing, point where you kind of just rush right through it. Now, I understand that I'm painting teeth pink right now, but that's okay. And then I'm just going to kind of work that into there a little bit. And then I want to come over here and work along the edge here, because I just don't want to lose any of that detail that we worked so hard to bring out. But we got to make sure that these gums sell, because you have those gums and then those vicious, vicious teeth, and that is really what we're looking to bring out. Because when you think of a snake, what's the first thing you think about? You think about getting bitten. So what's the biggest selling point of this guy is his actual teeth. Now some of that wash dripped inside here, so we kind of want to work that in. It's okay, we weren't worried about it. So now you can see that we have a little bit more consistency in that mouth. Let me see if I'm missing anything. Just give them all A's. I have a lot downtime at my job. Rob's channel to the rescue. There we go, Mario. Glad I can help. For miniatures, got a smooth body like the lion. Got any tips to make it look like it's got fur? Well, you know, really, because it's so smooth and it doesn't have anything, it's the really putting that wash in there. Nah, Serptum, I like the notion of giving them F's, like Rob suggested. Body. The body's really smooth, so it's really kind of hard. Yeah, we lost John Glenn today. I'm very sorry about that. Boy, I'll tell you, that's another guy, along with Alan B. Shepard, when I was a kid, who was a personal hero of mine. I loved the space program. I always thought I'd get off this planet. It just didn't work out. Alright, so we've done that, so we're going to let that dry a little bit. Ricky, how are you? Yeah, Greg Lake died, right? Boy, that one caught me off guard, too. Because God knows, I love me some Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Okay. Now, it looks like there's some stones in here, so we're gonna take a dark gray and we're gonna get that painted out, painted in there before it's too late. And we're gonna take a little bit bigger brush here, and that's something I wasn't worried about at the time, but I'm going to worry about it now. Okay, so let's start with a nice dark gray. Yeah, Palmer. He's the only one that's left. Funny thing is, Rick Emerson died earlier this year. Alright, so now we are going to... Alright. So now we're going to take that gray, and with the stone that's in here, we're just going to kind of get that in there. Because he's all wrapped around some stone thing. It looks like. So we want to really kind of just work on that later. Because he's not all wrapped up into himself. So what we've done here is we painted in that, and then I believe, yeah, in the front here, we want to make sure that we get that as well, because that's what he's wrapped around. So we've got that dark gray in there, but we'll highlight that as well once we start working on some of the teeth a bit. So let's get that brushed off. Alright, let's let that dry real good. And then we're going to come back to this guy. I really want to bring this out a lighter color. Do I want him to be a lighter green? Could do that. I could sell it just going very easily over. But do I really want to do that? Let's think about what color that we would want to make him. Do we want to go... We want to take like and very lightly go over him with a layer of Ogren camo. That might really just bring out who he is. We're going to have to sit and think about this one. In the meantime, while we're thinking about that, we're going to take our lead belcher and we are going to get that on our bigger brush, which is this monster here, because it looks like these guys are pretty much dry. And all we're going to do is just really kind of get their main parts and then highlight everything else. So we're just going to really just dry brush the heck out of these guys to start, because there's more armor than there is anything else. And it's going to save us a lot of time on these guys. And that's what we really want to do, especially when you guys are painting some of you guys are painting for the first time. You know, you want to make things as easy as you possibly can for yourself. Now, the silver here with the black, it's really gonna work very, very, very well. All right, so we got some of that on there. And again, when we're dry brushing, all we want to do is just get that brush and get a bunch of that off, because we want to save some of the black underneath. We want to save some of the black underneath. Let's just move that out of the way. All right. So check our brush, always on the base. If we have too much paint, we just come over and brush it a little bit more on the thing. And then very lightly, all we want to do is just highlight. Oop. See, we didn't lose any of the black there. Just very lightly, just nice and easy, just soft like a breeze in the summer. Nice and easy over the helmet. Don't worry about that cloth piece. We are gonna paint all over that, but all we want to do is make this guy as metallic as humanly possible, because we'll bring everything else out later. Look at that. How easy is that? And when we add the other colors, it's really just going to really bring this guy to life. And it's easy as that. See how easy that is? Now we'll build out from there. Let's take a look at this guy to begin with. It's easier. Let me pop him out of the card. It's a lot easier to kind of add things than to have to put these things in here first. Like if we put this red in and this red in here, it would be a lot harder, because then we would have to be very careful when we went over all these spots. But as you can see, we do this first, okay? And then we'll put all those other colors in later. Which will help us out quite a bit. Wouldn't you say? I think so. This guy's still a little wet. Well, we have our example guy. All right, here we go. Again, like I can even go over here and kind of take some of the paint off the paper, because I wiped off so much. Come back over, and then just lightly again, that's all I'm doing. I'm just tickling this guy. Now, I don't believe that you should tickle these guys, because they do look kind of mean, and I think they would fight back. But again, just nice and easy, good, even strokes. Just taking your time, making sure that you get every area, and then not losing the black, because the black's the real selling point here. It really gives this guy this dingy look that we're really trying to create with him. All right, let's bring these guys to the forefront. Let's just take a little bit more out of here. New trolls just stopping by to say hi to everyone. Now back to work. Goodbye, everyone. Well, it's nice that he came by. We'll have to thank him later. All right. He'll watch it later anyways. All right. So again, just taking that off the brush, but leaving that little pocket there in case we need a little later. Coming over, grabbing your miniature, okay? And always checking, see if you have too much. If you have too much, just dry it a little bit. And then just come over, nice and easy. Nice and easy. Whoops, see, I was holding it so lightly. And I'm just taking this brush and I'm just dancing this brush across this figure. This is one of your most helpful techniques and the most satisfying. It really is. It really brings home a lot of these miniatures, and it simplifies things. It gives you a sense of accomplishment, which is really important when you're struggling with something. Sometimes just taking and picking up the dry brush and just going over, you know, something easily, and just saying, you know, something, it's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Hey Rob, wanted to get a look at those Conan figs. It's a game that keeps getting looked at to add to my buy list. Well, I'm going to tell you, this is definitely a home run. I'm really impressed with the figures. They're very detailed. The price point is really nice. And I have to say, I think for Asmodee to pick this up, you know, I think that says a lot. That this is the game. And this the same company that I believe that is also doing Mythic Battles. So I look forward to that as well when it goes retail, of course. And there you go. Alright, this guy's just a little too wet in that crease there, so I'm not going to do him. So we're just going to put him aside. We'll just concentrate on those guys. So we're going to let those guys dry a bit. And so we can do this guy a little bit later. I definitely want to darken him up and let him dry for a while. So let's just take and wipe off this brush. I'll take a sip of water. I'll look up and answer any questions that you guys can very quickly ask. How's that? As we get ready, because in 20 minutes we will begin our hostile takeover of the Dice Tower. Where I'm the only show in town for the weekend. Uh-oh. That's not good for them. So we're going to do a couple live shows there. We're going to have some fun. We're going to get people to know everybody and everyone, and it's going to be just a lot of fun. We're going to have some fun. Sir Kaz, how are you, my friend? Do you think it has as much depth and strength of play as Descent 2? Will it stand up to Descent as a dungeon crawl? Well, I'll be honest with you. I've got to read the rules. I'm looking forward to playing the game. I'm looking forward to getting it going. The main thing is I wanted to get it painted, and I think that's where I kind of stand with it. I think next week or the week after, when we decide to play it, I'll really be able to sit down and go, all right, guys, this has some staying power, and it's a lot of fun. Everybody that plays it loves it. You know, we can start. Excuse me, right there. They're also planning on another Mythic Battles when the Kickstarter that just ended is delivered. My wallet is already screaming. Well, there you go. All right, so let's get back to work here. Let's not goof around. We've got things that we got to do, and creatures we have to paint. All right. So let me just get a good amount on here. Make sure I got this all mixed up correctly. There we go. And hold on here. I'm just doing something real quick off camera. And there's a reason for it. Alright, there we go. It's just something I was touching up that was annoying me. Alright, so got our boy here. And we want him to be as dark as humanly possible. Fair enough. Can't wait to get your honest opinion on it. You often tend to have some of the most honest reviews of games of all the folks I watch. I respect that a great deal. Well, thank you very much. You could say something about how different brushes shapes should be used. I wish I could. But here's the God's honest truth. It's a lot of times these square ones I'll use for this because I just feel better control, where people like a more rounded brush when they are doing washes and stuff like that. So I wouldn't want to give you some bad advice, as I've been accused of many times. But and the reason for that is because I just have a different way of holding and doing things, and I wouldn't want anybody to really try it my way. First of all, I'm left-handed, so I do everything backwards on top of that, and that makes it even harder. It's the Queen of the Known Universe who served me spaghetti today.
It was not spaghetti. It was shrimp scampi. Let's clarify that.
It was spaghetti.
Everybody in
because
the world
I
out there
hate
say,
spaghetti.
Oh, we wish we had shrimp scampi. Why are you being?
No, they're not saying that because I don't think anybody likes shrimp scampi.
Yeah, they do. They love it.
Really? Is that the way it's going to be?
They love it, and you're the only difficult person.
I'm the only difficult person.
Yep.
Okay. Let's get something straight here, okay?
Right. I rule the universe.
You rule the universe. You may rule my universe. But,
Your shrimp scampi universe.
my shrimp scampi universe. First of all, I hate spaghetti. And it was spaghetti with...
Doesn't mean everybody else has got to suffer for it.
No, it doesn't mean that. But was there an option? Was I given a choice?
There is an option.
What's that?
Take it or leave it. There's your option.
Well, let me tell you. Yeah, you better run. Damn woman. I'll tell you, we're about to have war. I'm telling you right now, I'm about to declare war on that woman. I hate shrimps. I hate spaghetti more than anything in the world. When I was a kid, we had it like 4 times a week because my mother used to work a lot. So it was like the easiest thing to do. Throw it into a pot, open up a jar or whatever, and pour it on there. I can't stand spaghetti. I can't even look at it. So, you know what she does? She very quietly goes in there and decides that she's going to make shrimp scampi because she loves spaghetti. And not taking my feelings into account, which she didn't, and I'm only saying that because she's not in the room right now, is that she decided to cook that spaghetti anyways. So when she came out here and said, would you like the shrimp scampi poured on top of your spaghetti? I said, first of all, I don't want anything on top of my spaghetti. Just give me a little bit in a little bowl. I'll eat it because I have no choice. It's either that or starve. I go, but I will tell you something. I'm going to make your relatives feel how angry I am over this because I don't want to eat spaghetti, and you know it, and you could have made something else for me. I, after all, am the king of this castle. I am the franchise. I am the total package, and I hope you hear this. Unless you don't. Be careful with the boss. They're always right. Yeah, she is. She is. And she thinks you guys are on her side. I know you guys are on my side. You better not put it in writing, though, because she will look. And then you don't want to make the list. You make the list. Boys, you got a long night. All right. For those of you that do not know the background of this ever family war, I'm not going to make you suffer through it. Let's get back and do the things that we really need to do. And that's painting Conan. So I'm sorry about that. Nathan retracted his message because he probably was going to say something about the Queen, and he decided against it. Good man. Very smart. You don't want her going back and listening to this replay. All right, so now if we look at that box of this guy, Let's take a look at it. And you see how dark he is. So I've really darkened him up with some new oil. So I used that very dark undercoat, which was a Castellan green. Okay, let me just bring it out there. So I got that on him, and then I darkened him up with a... oh, wait a minute. Hold on here. Don't tell me there's some people on her side. Rob, I think this is a war game you'll lose. The queen always wins. My wife says that I am the king of the castle. She crowned me with a frying pan this morning. Maybe she was taking your waistline into consideration. No. She knows that I got the competition, so I've got to keep these 25 pounds on. And I think that's why she made the pasta. This will be off in about a week. Because Sunday we'll just, we got it. I'm going to take care of it and then be done with it. And then I could get back down to my natural weight. Ha ha ha, I would love that combo, but to each its own. Shrimp and, hashtags shrimp and pasta. Boy, oh boy. I tell you, my waistline. I'll tell you what. I'm going to take her into consideration come this Christmas when she finds coal underneath the tree. So anyways, we got that green on there, and then now we've got him nice and dark. And you can see where the darkness, where how dark he is. And we're really going to use that to our advantage. But we're going to bring him back out a little bit. We're going to lighten him up. So we're going to let him dry, and we're going to take that to another level as soon as we can. Can't believe you guys are siding with her. Actually, I'm kind of afraid. I think I may stay on for about 4 hours. Maybe she'll forget about that I gave her some lip. All right, so we got that done. So now we're just going to let that dry. Got to let that dry real good. I just am checking him out. And let me make another adjustment here. I just want to make sure that I've pushed that wash around good enough. Sometimes you got to be careful because it will pool up and then it takes forever. I mean, it's bad enough it takes 20 minutes for this to properly dry before you can move on to the next stage of anything. So sometimes I just like to make sure that even though I got it really good into the recesses there, you want to make sure that you don't have any pools on there. See, like I got a little pool there. I'm going to take and move that around a little bit. And we're going to check his hand here. Whoops. And drop him. That'll knock off any excess for sure. There we go. Perfect. Queen bee. Phooey. Alright, so what time do we got? 6:33? Alright, we're doing alright. We're doing okay. Alright, so let's get back to this guy here. I think I probably should save him for the other show there. But what we want to do now is taking a look. Is we're going to want to lighten up those teeth. So finally, what we're going to do is we are going to take, and I'm going to use a white. Oh, actually, I shouldn't. I should do it backwards for this guy. Because a white would just be too much. But I will wash it, because I do want to wash it again. I can go with a shabby bone and work my way outwards. But those teeth are pretty nasty. So, alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to start with the first coat, which is just going to be the shabby bone underneath. And then we're going to go over it with a white, because we're going to want to layer those teeth a bit, because let's face it, he doesn't eat all the best of the things, and he has no hands, so how's he going to brush his teeth? And he doesn't brush his teeth. That's right. He's a snake. Snake don't got no hands to hold a brush. Alright, so we want to be very careful again. And what we want to do is we want to come from the edge of the gum line and work it downwards, downwards. And work it around. Being very careful not to hit that gum line at all. We don't want to hit that gum line. We don't want to have to do more work than we have to. So we're going to take and move that around nicely. There we go. And then work on his, I don't know, are these his bicuspers? And again, she's still complaining. I can hear it from here. I'll tell you. She keeps it up. I'm going to have to give her her pink slip. She's in a contract here. She's going to want to be very, very careful. I'm telling you right now. I have no problems renegotiating her contract. She might just get cut from the team. I'd probably get a free agent a lot cheaper. Well, probably will cost me a lot more. I don't know. We got the budget like the Browns. All right, so there you go. Now you see we have that dark, that kind of brown there, but we're gonna work that outwards. We're not gonna leave that the same color. So that's kind of a mainstay right there. And you can see what we're doing with the teeth there. We've got that shabby bone. So we got that bone in there. But we're going to want to brighten that up because we really want those teeth to stand out. Those teeth are a big selling point on this nasty, nasty creature. All right, we're going to let him dry a little bit. Perfect. All right, we're doing all right here. We are doing all right. So, let's see here. And let me just take a look here. Now here, we can actually try to do some of the white teeth. And I think that's kind of important here. So we're going to take some white scar. And we're going to try to, and unfortunately, you kind of really, you're forced to do the white because basically, you know, it's just going to be tan on tan on tan. And if you kind of realistically trying to do the teeth the way you would like to, you're going to lose some of that teeth. And you're going to lose some of the effect of it. So you don't want to do that. So you want to be very careful in here. Again, this is a situation where you got to be dead on now. And you got to just make sure that your hand's good. If your hand isn't good, you know, make sure you have the right angles. Like right now, I'm not in front of the camera. Show you how to do this because basically I want to make sure that I have complete control of the model, and I do. And by doing that, it gives me, I can get his teeth in there. Perfect. Oh, those browns. So sad. When is the patron drawing? Did I miss it? No, you did not miss it. It is actually tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Be here for our 1-hour live show. The patron drawing. Did you win? Is it in your future? Well, if you did, congratulations. But we won't know till we draw it live, because we do it live. And the best part about it is, if you didn't win, guess what? There is always 10 days from now when we give away even more stuff. And I'm talking some cool stuff. Some really good stuff. And that all happens all within because it is Christmas. Hey Rob, a little off topic, but I see you have Hero Quest on your shelves. Is that fully painted? If so, do you mind showing it off? Dan, unfortunately, that I just purchased over the summer. I promised I would give it a good home. It is here, and I'm very happy about it, but I have not painted it yet. I will be giving it the treatment, but with all the stuff I got going, it's going to be a little while before we can get back to Hero Quest. I can promise you that. Okay. Now, what did we want to do? Well, first of all, Screamer Pink. No, it's not what I'm looking for. But I am looking for this very dark red because it is very successful on a lot of the figures that we do. And looking at these guys, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We are going to be using some very dark corn red in there on the headdresses and so forth and so on. But you know where we're going to do all this? I'm going to tell you because it is 6:40. We've been on for actually 45 minutes, just as I had planned to be. We're going to let this dry for about 10 minutes. I'm going to set things up. And if you guys like, and if you can, meet me over in the dice tower in approximately, I say 10 minutes. We're going to start a little early over there so I can get done a little early. And that way we will finish up the rest of everything that we are doing here. And we'll have a good time doing it. So I will see you guys in approximately 9 minutes over at the Mighty Dice Tower.